Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
All right. Hey there, collectors. It's going to be Steven here, and welcome to just a quick overview of the Super7 Godzilla Ultimate's Thirsty for Blood version. That is a tribute to the famous Dark Horse cover, right? So, at San Diego Comic-Con 2023, Super7 did a nice repaint, right, for their first 1989 Godzilla figure in the awesome green Dark Horse Godzilla colors, where he's thirsty for blood, as the title of the figure calls it. Now, this is not going to be a full-on review. We're not going to go over everything super duper in depth like I would normally do, because I got to pack this guy up here soon, and we are going to go back on a plane home here in a little bit. So I just wanted to take a nice quick look at this guy, take a look at the paint apps, because I know some folks did want a nice look at this before we close out the con here, and then we could just talk about my thoughts a little bit. So what I will say is that overall, having a chance to talk to the folks who worked on this one, specifically, you know, for painters and such, like for the design work, I will say that this is a fantastic tribute to the original Godzilla cover, and you can see just how well the blood actually accentuates the teeth in there. You can actually see the individual teeth on both sides there for this particular head sculpt, and yes, it's very fierce. The blood on the mouth and the neck piece sort of changed throughout the promotional renders, but it did come out nicely on the final product. When we take a look down here on the main body of the figure, most particularly on the torso, we can definitely see that there is going to be that sort of blackish, darker green wash that looks very good, and there's just a tiny hint of like a dry brush that goes over very well on the scutes and the scales and the bumps of Godzilla, and he looks pretty good. It's kind of difficult to pick up in this lighting, which is the reason why I'm specifically not calling this a review, and I have to constantly refocus this because it's not the most professional setting, but you can see, like, on his nails, you can see there are a few different colors that are in there, and it does help to make this figure look really good, and it really does stand out throughout the rest of the figure here. So overall, I think the paint apps are going to be rather clean, all things considered, with the only one real issue is going to be on this head sculpt with this little streak of green paint. When it comes to the dorsal plates, overall they do look rather nice, and you can see that we have some nice green in the center that's very dark, and then as it comes out on all of the dorsal plates pretty much, the gradient changes to a lighter green, and that's going to be true for all of them, like I said, except for when we get to, like, let's say the tail tip, right? The tail is going to be a little bit different because the dorsal plates are smaller, and it's understandable that they would not be able to get that sort of detail there. So that is all fine and dandy. Now for the articulation, we can't do a full rundown just because of runtime and so forth, but we do have the ball jointed head where it plugs into the neck. And then we have a little bit of a ball joint here. Mine's kind of stiff moving anything other than left or right. We do get a little bit of rocking movement, but in terms of going up and down like that, you know, he can T-pose. Let's go ahead and get him to do that real quick for you. Yep. Other arm, yep, just like that. He has a bicep swivel, single hinge elbow, swivel hinge wrist. Effectively, at least on this one, even though it seems to rock, we basically have a swivel waist, ball joints at the hips, hinge, and swivel knee. And then for the foot, for the ankle, hinge, and swivel. For the tail, we have multiple ball joints, which the tail popped on super easy with no issues, but I had to really push and pop it on before it really did want to get in there, but I was able to do it without heat. I'm holding it up like this because some folks reported an issue with their original Wave 1 Godzilla 1989 where the tail just kept doing this. This one does not have this issue whatsoever. For accessories, we do have, obviously, the closed mouth, right? But then we can pop that off, and we have a roaring where Godzilla is getting ready to roar at his foes. But Okay, in this set, we do get a little human here, and he's not really all that important. No, it's Art Adams, right? So he drew the original cover of the Dark Horse comic that this Godzilla is based on. So what you can do with him is you can put him in Godzilla's hand, right? Godzilla can pretend he's going to eat him. That's where he gets his blood from, right? Which is cool. So Godzilla's going to come with a left and right sort of slightly grasping hands. He's going to come with some splayed hands, and then he's going to come with fists, which is good. So everything that the original 1989 Godzilla from Super 7 came with. So in addition, the box is not the product, but it is really cool. So just taking a quick look at the box, we'll move my makeshift studio around here a little bit. So here's what the box looks like. Here's the front of the box proper. The window, you can see, I took the plastic tray out just for storage reasons while I'm here. Here's the side. Here's the back. It's really cool. Here's the other side. And then there's the top. And then what's even cooler is it does have a slip cover, right? And then for that slip cover, as it goes on, we can clearly see Godzilla King of the Monsters. And this is what that original cover for the Dark Horse comic looked like. And Art Adams was at SDCC 2023. Here's going to be the top, right? And then the back is actually pretty neat because we get the mighty eye of Godzilla. So with that being said, that pretty much wraps up our video this evening. There are going to be plenty of other SDCC videos that are up currently on the channel, whether it's going to be from Super 7 or other companies, so I do encourage you to check that out. Additionally, I do really encourage you to sit tight because there will be a full review of not only this figure, but the entirety of Wave 1 of Toho Ultimates from Super 7. And I have had a chance to take a look at some stuff in the community, but I think you might be interested in what I have to say. Thank you so much to the patrons who help support every month or even 1 month. Here is your end card, which is a part of the perks. You definitely help out, including like the mic that I'm using right now. Would not normally be able to use that mic without your assistance, so thank you so much. Here's going to be the end card now for the general end card, so this way you can check out some other videos. You can maybe even check out some other Super 7 stuff. They do more than just Ultimates. They do like reaction too. All right. Thanks again for watching. I will catch you in the next video.